Welcome to day 14 of my day trading diary, where I share my watch list and analyze my trades for you to learn from. Today is the 28th of August 2023, and as far as the market goes, the market is sitting right at this significant area of resistance, and it would need the buyers to really step in to break this area of resistance and this trend line. And if we have a look at the short side, how the weakness after Jerome Powell's speech on Friday, how it got bought up by like 110% is really concerning for the short side. So the market could go either way today. Personally, I don't see the market breaking this trend line yet. So maybe today is a bit choppy. But other than that, I found some interesting gap ideas. So the first one is Tesla, which immediately is an interesting one, as I can see the price bouncing at three areas. The first one would be this area up here. The second one would be this area down here. And the third area would be the highs of the previous 3 days. And depending where it bounces, it could have room to this area up here today. But if it only bounces down here, it could take a few days to reach this area up here, as it would have to move back through these potential areas of resistance then. The next one is BA, which is gapping into this gap after it filled this gap and is sitting right above this nice area of previous resistance. So I would be looking for it to hold this area and fill this gap here. The next one is GME, which formed this nice daily buy setup. And if it gets rejected at the high of yesterday, for example, it should have room to this previous pivot. And the last one is NRDY, which formed this double top and now is breaking out of it. And this is a nice accumulation phase, and after it's breaking out, as I said before, the retest is the best area to entry. So I would be looking for it to retest the highs of this accumulation phase, and my target would be up here. And on the short side, I didn't really find much. What I like is Upstart, which broke down out of this area yesterday and now is gapping back into the breakdown area. So if the market heads lower today, this could be a really nice short idea. But the target has to be the pivot here. And the last one is Meta, which only is on my short watch because it sits right at this significant area of previous support and resistance. And Meta pretty much always moves with the market. So if the market heads lower today, this is a good shorting area for Meta, and it should have room to this area down here. But if the market is bullish today, I fully expect Meta to break this area here. So these are my plans for today. The market is gonna open in about 15 minutes, so I'm gonna see you guys after the market session. Alright, so the market is closed now, and today was a pretty disappointing day. Because it had the potential to be good to maybe even great. However, I traded really bad. I was really impatient and rushed into trades, and that actually made me hit my daily loss limit of 4R today, which I guess didn't happen thus far this month, and usually it does happen about 1 or twice a month. But yeah, it mainly resulted not because of bad scans. It was just on me, and it was mainly on my mentality because I was impatient, and I'm gonna show you now how my day turned out. If we have a look at the market first, it basically ranged within this 441, 443.20 area the whole day. But I was pretty quickly done with the day as I hit my daily loss limit, as I said. So if we have a look at Tesla, I had these 3 areas marked as area of interest, and I actually traded it. And the first entry I took was really early. I traded this reversal candle here as I was looking for it to break this trend line. So I entered up here and got stopped out down here. And then later I traded this engulfing bar here like this, as it would also mean it would break the trend line, which I wouldn't say is a bad trade. It just didn't turn out because Tesla was really weak, unlike I expected to be. However, this wasn't a rushed entry, as this was a nice pattern, and usually you would expect after the break of the trend line, you would expect a higher low and then the price to move higher. So this wasn't a bad trade, this was. However, at Tesla, I made minus 2R today. Then on the short side, I traded Meta, and on Meta as well, I was too impatient as I was trading this 2-minute opening range breakout with some extra room. So I entered down here and put my stop loss up here at 28,990 because it got immediately rejected as the market wasn't really moving at all. So Meta looked relative weak to the market to me. And so I was looking for an early entry as I didn't want it to rip immediately and then not get an entry at all. However, that didn't work out, so I made minus 1R here. And the other entry I took, I believe that was my last trade for the day, was Upstart on this rejection up here, on this pretty high volume candle that got rejected off this area. So I entered on the break of this candle and put my stop loss up here, which I shouldn't have done, as normally on 1 and 2 minute entries I give it a little bit of extra room. However, I was shooting for a better risk to reward, so I actually should have put my stop loss up here, which would have been about 1.7R, and then the trade almost would have worked, or at least I would have made some profit and closed it at the end of the day. And it actually gave an opportunity to add as it came back. This is where I got stopped out. However, this is a really nice, pretty high volume topping tail sell setup, and I could have just shorted and added here and lowered my stop loss from up here to here, how I usually do it. I don't really know why I didn't do it. As I said, my mentality wasn't on point today. But yeah, those were the 4 trades I took today. Everything, all of them got stopped out, so it's minus 4R. But that is the importance of having daily stop loss limits, because if your mentality isn't on point, it's possible to get dragged into taking more trades which are probably even less optimal and losing even more money, and that can really spiral down and ruin your whole month. If we have a look on some other trades I could have taken, if I wasn't that impatient, BA was a really good idea. If we have another look at the daily chart, it pretty nicely got rejected up here and filled the whole gap like I was looking for. It was a bit choppy at the beginning. Some opportunities I could have taken were like this 1-minute buy setup and with some extra room to the low of the day, or this really big engulfing bar here with the stop loss down here, or probably the best trade would have been the higher low here after it broke the trend line, like I just said on Tesla, what you would normally expect when the price moves higher. So could have traded it like this, or maybe like here the whole breakout after the break of the trend line, or maybe like this and put your stop loss under here or under here, and then the target up here, and that's a really nice smooth move and a really nice trade. However, at this point I was in my 4 trades, and That's when I stopped trading for the day. GME was a really nice gap. It didn't retest this area here. However, it got to my supposed target pretty quickly and actually gave an opportunity to short up here. If we have another look at the daily chart, this was like a really nice pivot where you would expect the price to bounce. And after it formed this nice 5-minute sell setup, consolidated for a bit, you could make an argument to short it up here and put your stop loss over here and then hold it to the end of the day, and then that's like another R, or maybe you close it a bit earlier. It's 1.7, so maybe 1.5 R. NRDY actually made a pretty big jump in a few minutes before open in the pre-market, and that screwed over my supposed trading range. And as I just see now, it almost pulled back to all the way back to that area, which is interesting. And yeah, Upstart I went over, was a nice gap. If I trade it better, I make some money there. It didn't quite reach my supposed target, but it's probably gonna do it these coming days. But yeah, like I said, if I trade it better, I make some money here. It just was a really bad day by me. There's nothing else to it. But yeah, so it's minus 4R. I'm still at what I would expect from the month. But yeah, today could have been a better day. I'm gonna see tomorrow how the market is gonna pan out. This is gonna be a pretty interesting few days as we are approaching this trend line if we are not gonna head lower. But yeah, that was my day for today, and I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow.